Hey, what's going on everybody? The Seer here, and we have a special video for you guys. I'm doing my first war video, well, official war video. If you looked at my channel, one of my oldest videos is actually doing new Avenger testing in war practice mode, and that did actually very well for me. But because of the new war season, I thought it was very important to try to find some certain counters for particular teams. Now for this war season, Chapter 5, Mercs Mayhem. The current buffs for this season are currently plus 20% to primary stats to defending war-ready Hero Spider-Verse allies. If they're not exhausted, on spawn they're going to gain 2 safeguard, offense up, and defense up. Now currently the way they have this set out is that only the defending characters are getting these war-ready buffs and not the offensive side. So that's putting a huge swing on war right now. In this video, I'm going to have counters to 4 particular teams. The first team is going to be that Mercs for money. The second team is going to be against the Spider Society. I have 2 counters for that one. I have 1 counter for the Hive Mind, and I have 2 counters for the Infestation team. Now, if you do end up liking this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Also, let me know down below, do you want me to do more war videos? It would take a lot of time for me, but I think I might be able to squeeze out maybe 1 a week, if that, based on the wars that we have. But let me know if that is something that you want me to start doing. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first video I want to show you guys is going to be the Underworld vs. Mercs for money. I'm pretty sure that's the video that everybody's kind of curious about as far as how to counter that Merc for money if you end up seeing it on defense. I just decided to experiment and say, hey, Underworld's fast, let's go ahead and give it a shot, and it ended up working. To be honest, I was pretty surprised by this as well. This was about a 1 million power punch up, so let's go ahead and check the replay on this one. So for this counter, the Underworld team will be going first because of all the speed that they get on spawn because of war bonuses. Your Mr. Negative is going to go first, and you're going to use that special on the Old Man Logan to ability block him. He's going to end up attacking somebody else, and you're just going to start doing all your assists with Taskmaster, and eventually you end up taking out the Old Man Logan. Once that happens, the matchup is very easy. However, because of how often the Mercs for Money team does their revives, the kill order is going to be very particular. The next biggest target for this team is actually going to be that death pool. The main reason for that is because Underworld has a lot of minions that they spawn in, and that's free kills and pings for death pool, so you would end up taking her out next. However, I can see a world where you'd want to shift your attention to Dakin first, because currently he does have a lot of lower stars, so he would be an easier kill target, then you can shift over to Deathpool. But definitely be mindful of that Panda pool. He does come with a lot of taunt, so you may have to shift your attention over to that Panda pool a lot sooner than you planned on it. If you can, try to time it to where you can use Green Goblin's special on him that does have a permakill attached to it, so that would help you bypass those permakills and save you a lot of time and headache. So right here I am using Green Goblin's ultimate, and a lot of the hits luckily you did go into Panda Pool. I was able to get the kill on Panda Pool, and they didn't revive back, so that is an RNG hit right there. And right here you are able to see the damage that the Dakin can pump out. Luckily we did have the death pool killed at that time, otherwise that would have been a lot of minion kills and a lot of pings that the death pool would have had on our team. So right here you do see that the Deadpool and Dakin are doing a pretty good final stand. Luckily the minions that keep coming in from Mr. Negative and Kingpin are keeping us into this matchup, but even still, if we end up wiping here, this was a 1 million punch up into that Mercs for Money team, and we got rid of the biggest threat right off the bat. Now I am taking my Underworld team bigger. Right now I have 4 of them at level 95. I do plan to take Mr. Negative and Taskmaster up to level 100 eventually. It just seems like this team is always going to be hanging around in some fashion because of the speed advantage that they get in war and how much they can nuke a team right off the bat. The next team that's given a lot of people issues this war season is going to be that Spider Society. They're a pretty big pain and a huge threat on defense, especially with that safeguard. So what's the best counter to that? Apocalypse. Right now, I'm pretty sure the safest option is going to be the Gamma with Apocalypse fight. This here was another pretty big punch up of about 1.5 million. So let's go ahead and check this one out. So luckily Apocalypse makes it to where this team doesn't have a safeguard at the start of the matchup. However, they still have a pretty good speed advantage on the Gamma team that you see right here. Now my Hulk isn't as big as I would like him to be. He just keeps getting attacked and he keeps going, and I finally have a turn with my Red Hulk. I do opt to do a turn meter rewind on the Pavitra because he's going to be going first, and I can start getting some damage on that Peter B. Parker. Brown is able to remove a lot of buffs with his special ability as well, so that's why this is a really good counter into this. I do end up losing the Hulk, but the Red Hulk is able to get the ult off because of the placement. I now have the trauma, I have a lot of debuffs on the other side, and now Apocalypse is able to go, and I can get rid of the Penny right away. Pavitra bleeds out, and it's a very easy cleanup. Again, this was a 1.5 million punch up. It's a little scary at the start because of how much damage they were putting on the Hulk, but we're able to sustain it. And once Red Hulk gets its ult off, Apocalypse gets the ult off as well, the match is pretty much over. The next counter that I wanted to test out against that Spider Society team ended up being the Superior / Sinister 6 combo. This is one of my favorite teams to use in war. So it's going to be Kraven, Green Goblin Classic, Doc Ock, Mysterio, and Vulture. This was more of about a punch across, so let's go ahead and check this one out. So this match here is going to be more of a straight up fight because it is going to be a punch across. A lot of the Spider Society members will be going first, like that Spider-Man Noir. Vulture is able to take his turn, and I opt to do the special on the Ghost Spider, Peter B. Parker, and Pavitra. The main target there was actually the Pavitra. Green Goblin Classic is able to go and I do the ultimate, so that way I can do a nice turn meter rewind. The Kraven, I do end up doing the special on the Penny so I can get that ability block on her and get a lot of debuffs on her as well. Once Vulture is able to go again, I end up using the ultimate, I get another turn meter rewind. So you kind of see right now, it's a lot of control. Mysterio's able to put those blinds on the other people, I have turn meter rewinds going, and the Doc Ock is able to do those extended debuffs. The priority targets is still going to be pretty much the same. The main one you want to try to take out is going to be that Peter B. Parker if you're able to. The Penny we don't really have to worry about as much unless she ends up resisting that ability block from Kraven. And then from there it's just take out who you can. Overall this matchup wasn't too bad. I do think that we are able to do a punch up with this one. I just haven't had the opportunity yet. Another team that has a lot of benefit this season is going to be the Hive Mind. They have a lot of Hero Spider-Verse characters, so the easiest way to take them out is going to be the P-Force team. So that's going to be the A-Force characters with Photon included. This here was about a 1 million power punch up, and I honestly feel that I can do a bigger punch up than this one. So they can punch up well above the weight class if you have them built up. This matchup goes very quick, and this was a pretty big punch up as well. I end up stripping the buffs away with JJ's ult on the Carnage and the adjacent characters. Nico is able to put trauma with those debuffs on the 3 characters as well. I end up using Spider-Woman's special into the Void Knight to ability block him, and I got the chain to go right, and that ended up taking out the Red Goblin and Carnage as well. As you see, there's really nothing that this team can do. I'm pretty sure doing a 1.5 million punch up was well within the weight class. I can probably go over 2 million power, 2.5 million power using this team into Hive Mind as well. So this is a perfect counter that you can use into the Hive Mind. Another team that got a massive boost this season that's causing a lot of issues is going to be Infestation. So because of that Hero Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man Big Time is going to start with the Safeguard and the Immunity, which means that old Inferior 6 team, where it's the Superior Sinister 6 leftovers, doesn't do anything to this. The team I'm testing out here is going to be the new Avengers, and this is going to be about a 500k punchdown, and this one could go wrong. So it's not a hard counter, but it is an option for you. Now I do want to preface this. This was a 500k punchdown. This is not a hard counter. It would be like a very soft counter if anything. So the Tigra ends up doing the special first, and that did end up chaining into the Spider-Man Big Time. So that's going to be something that you want to watch out for. You might want to do a basic with her in first, or maybe just try to peel a couple of evades off. The Spider-Man Big Time ends up going and doing the ultimate, and you see the trauma and all the debuffs on the other side. Now, something that did happen in this matchup was that Ronan evaded the ability energy steal that the Spider-Man Big Time gets. So I am able to use one of Ronan's abilities right there. I believe it's the ultimate, and I did some pretty good damage on the Yellow Jacket. Right now, at this point in the matchup, I was trying not to hit the Big Time, but I was basically biding my time until those safeguards dropped off. Then I can go all in on that Spider-Man Big Time. Now, some other RNG factors that came into this matchup. The Mockingbird is still alive at this point. I did try this matchup again later on. It didn't get the one shot, but I was able to do some pretty significant damage. If your Mockingbird is able to survive and do that ultimate to where she's able to basically heal your team back up, that will put you back into the matchup. Then as soon as those safeguards drop off, you're free basically to pick and choose and kill your opponents. So as far as kill priority goes, the Spider-Man Big Time is going to be the first one, obviously. From there, go for those assist people. So that's going to be the Ant-Man and the Black Widow. Now, what's a realistic number for the punchdown? This was a 2 million into 1.5 million team. I think if it was about a 600 or 700k punchdown at that level, it would have been a lot safer, but it still depends on the size of that Big Time. Now, another option that's going to be a little bit safer, this one here was a little bit more of a punch up, and it's going to be the Knowhere team. You do have to play this one correctly, which I'll show you how I did it in this video. So a slight punch up, still not going to be a guarantee because I have seen the Knowhere team fail. That could be due to misplays or the scaling that the Infestation team has. Let's go ahead and check this one out. So for this matchup here, because that Spider-Man Big Time has that safeguard and the immunity on them, I can't really use the Nova Special on them. Instead, I opt to use it on the Ant-Man, so that way I can try to eliminate some of the assist mechanics that this team ends up bringing. The Infestation has started to push back against me, and I did end up losing Korg, which is no big deal because our basics always bring him back. Right now, the main targets I am going for is going to be that Ant-Man and then the Swarm as far as the adjacent target goes. Now, even though the Spider-Man Big Time doesn't have the safeguard on them right now, I'm still trying to avoid hitting them because that's going to start speeding them up, and I don't want to take that damage from him yet. Instead, the smarter play right now, I feel, is to get rid of those assist mechanics, which is why I am staying on that Ant-Man, even though that safeguard is off of the Big Time. Now that I was able to get rid of the Ant-Man and the Swarm, my next target that I'm going to be focusing down is going to be that Spider-Man Big Time. The Thor Infinity War is able to use a special on that Spider-Man Big Time, which puts the ability block on him. And from the rebound chains, I was able to take care of the Yellow Jacket. So that's another damage dealer that's eliminated. Now I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. Nova, I'm able to finally get his ultimate off, and that's able to get rid of the Spider-Man Big Time as well. But even still, this match was a little risky, but it's a lot safer than that new Avengers matchup that we just did. And that is all the videos that I have for you today for the current war season that I've been recording. I might start recording some of these as a live attack instead of just the replays for you. But let me know in the comments below. Are there any certain matchups that you want me to look for? I can try to find counters for those ones. And also let me know, do you want me to do more war videos or just keep focusing on what I have been doing? I really like making videos for you guys. It does take a lot of time for certain videos. And this was the first time I really did a war video, but I felt with that new war season, now would be a perfect time to show you certain counters that I already found out for these teams that's very problematic. If you did end up liking this video, please remember to give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.